In this video today, we're going to be taking a long overdue and highly requested look at the equity markets. We're going to take a look at the Nasdaq. We're going to be taking a look at the Dow, S&P, and we're going to see how we should be viewing the market, how we should be positioning ourselves. We're going to do all that in this video right now. As we get started, we're going to focus in on the S&P 500. Now, back in April, the great thing about all the live streams and published videos is that there's a history. You can go back and watch the videos. Back in April, this was the hardest month, by the way, all year to trade. It's actually been a highly fantastic year for trading. Back in April, though, I would say was the most difficult atmosphere to be trading in, environment to be trading in. And around that time, I said that we could either go trade up to 3,400 or back down to 2,300. Had no idea. When we broke down this trend line over here, we tried to attack, and then that was a fake breakdown. And then ever since then, we've held this trend line. This over here and over here were great opportunities to lean into the market. There were some good shorting opportunities over here, right? This was a difficult phase for the markets. It's been since June that I have forbidden anyone from shorting the equity markets, as the risk to reward was no longer warranted whatsoever. Here we are today, and you could see that I am neutral and have been neutral now for a few weeks ever since hitting my price targets. What happens now? What are we looking at? Let's take a long look. All right, let's take a look. First of all, I just want everyone to really, if you have even a pen right now, write this down. Right now, all that matters is price action. Fundamentals, valuations, they're out the door when you're in this type of bubble. And we are in a bubble right now. However, we have not seen any type of blow off top yet to occur, right? Is the risk to reward there in the equity markets? For me, they are not. I'm done with the equity markets at this particular time. I'm focused in what I believe to be a much stronger focused investments. However, I do want to take a look at them for all of you, and just also that this goes on record. Okay, we're going to start here with the S&P 500. Then we're going to take a brief look at the Dow and also the Nasdaq to see where we are. Now you could see this upper trend line over here. By the way, this all comes from the lower prime trend line we have over here. And as long as we continue above it, the bull is in strong effect. Now that doesn't mean that anyone should be buying up here. Of course you should not. We buy into support. The last time we had any pullback into support, and it was a light one, was into this trend line over here, right? That was above the 3,339 support level. Where are we today? You can see we're breaking above the upper portion of our range. The last time that occurred was back in early June, and then we did see a significant pullback into our prime trend line. What I'm going to do right now is give us, by the way, later in this video, we're going to talk about what you do when you're making new all-time highs. How do you spot the structure of the market, support and resistance, when there's no resistance above you? We're going to take a look at that. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone this trend line over here. I'm going to go ahead and clone it, and that actually gave me right where I wanted it, right? I'm going to put that in, and I'm also going to make one more clone of this trend line over here. Stick with me, right? And I'm going to put that right over there. That's going to give us some targets that we could look at. Look what happens if I extend that backwards. You can see right there, that's connected. If I extend this over here, it connects over to the top over there, right? When I say top over here, let me focus in and show you what I'm talking about here. This trend line over here, 2 points connected. This is the clone trend line we've been using as a guide our whole way up. And then over here, we have another connection. This area is important for me. This is where I focused in on. It just happens to line up over there as well. These are resistance levels you could watch here now on the upside, right? What do you do when the market is making new highs? How do you form new support and resistance? Well, first of all, we're going to take a look at the Nasdaq, which I illustrated that very well for the Conquering the Markets group yesterday. I'll go ahead and actually share a clip of that, and it was perfectly shared and illustrated. Right now, this is what we're looking at over here. Again, we're not seeing any type of blow off top. When I said that it has been forbidden. Obviously, you're a trader. I cannot forbid you from doing anything. I could only gently guide you. I could share my analysis so that you're able to use it to work it off of yours. Whether you agree with it or not, it is here to help sharpen your own. When I say that you cannot be shorting this market right now, here's the thing. We are in a bubble. The trend has been up ever since the Fed intervened back in the March, right? Again, this was a very difficult environment. There was a lot of unknowns, but it has become clear for the last few months now. Everyone has been on that right side of that trade. I want to keep them there. I want to keep you there. We're not seeing any signs of a top yet. We're not seeing any type of technical breakdowns. There's absolutely zero initiative. There is absolutely zero incentive to be shorting this market. Trying to pick tops and trying to pick bottoms is an expensive gambling habit. Do not do that. We're here to make money in a methodical way in the markets. These trend lines over here should help give you some type of resistance levels to look going forward now, as there is nothing above us. The S&P is making new all-time highs, and that's a very positive sign. It's a very positive sign because we all know the Nasdaq has been making new all-time highs. Why the Dow is not yet making new all-time highs? A couple of things to reflect on. It has taken out its June high. It has now taken out its June high last week. That was an enormously bullish technical signal. Because as the S&P started to make new highs, the Dow made a new leg up, taking out its June high, and Nasdaq continues to make new all-time highs. If you get all three indexes making all-time highs, that will continue to be a very bullish signal in the markets. Now, you also probably are aware that what was removed. We had a couple of oil companies, including Exxon, removed from the index, and Salesforce and others that are highly profitable are being added to the Dow. That's bullish for the Dow, right? This is why the indexes are trend following machines. This is why indexes are trend following machines. They take out those that are underperforming and add those that are overperforming. That's how it works. So what's going on over here? We are coming into some pretty strong resistance over here. Follow my mouse over here. It's right where we are right now, actually, at market 28,182. What I did was focus in over here, and then the resistance over here. I'll draw a level in right now. It's an important level for the Dow. It's an important level for the Dow. I'll mark it as resistance. We're barely under it right now. If we do break above this over here, however, this is an important support to lean into going forward, because really what the Dow will be looking to do next is go ahead and target 28,865. Let me go ahead and also draw in a level there. For those that are looking to keep following over here, I'll keep updating you. Now, Nasdaq continues to make new all-times. I'm going to remove all this business over here right now, and I'm going to show you a clip of yesterday's training session so that you're able to see what happens, how you're able to go ahead when you're making new all-times, find the structure of the market, how you're able to trade the structure of the market when there is no resistance above you. But to keep it simple, Gabriel, what you're doing is you're looking for new levels to be established. As you make new all-time highs, we could look at the Nasdaq right now. It's making new all-time highs. Let's come down to a swing trader level. Look, this was, let me remove that for 1 second. This was right here, new all-time high. We came back down. We came back up. Now this was established as resistance, right? That level right there. We had two touches to it. Then we broke that. And then we came back down and tested it. This was on the live stream that we did together last week. And it was right here on the live stream when I said, all right, well, now it's resuming up off that new local resistance. That's the place to look to lean in to buy. That's exactly how you do it, right? So what happens now? Now prices come up. So what are you doing? If you would have took this buy, where would your stop loss have been? Mine probably would have been down here, below this support over here. It would have been down, not the lowest swing point, but below the second lowest swing point. You could see now that we have, passed 1-to-1 to the upside. My stop loss now would be back at break even. I would be still holding that trade. What about my next entry? How am I getting in? Well, right now, there's no clarity on that. There's no room for an entry. No one's looking for an entry on the Nasdaq right now. But as new support is tested, maybe we come back down to this level, right? And then resume off it. Well, that's a possibility to look at. Or further back down into this level or this level again. But that's how you do it. You have to wait for the new levels to be established. Now, what I want to do is also step back a minute and go to the 3-day time frame just to give everyone a view of what's going on over here. Is that a parabolic blow off top? Let's check out what's going on with the Dow, right? We looked at that on the 8-hour time frame, the swing trade time frame. We saw right now that we are under a little bit of resistance, looking very healthy. However, we do have on the long term though, we do have a lower high over here. Right over here, this was a lower high being put in compared to the January high. Now, what about the S&P 500? Let's take a look over here. Is that a parabolic blow off top? I don't think so, personally. I don't think that we're seeing a blow off top yet on the S&P 500. I don't think we're seeing a blow off top here on the Nasdaq. Now, what I do think is that, again, focus only on price right now. The last third of any bubble is when it makes its biggest gains. The last third of any bubble is when it makes its most aggressive and quickest gains. I do believe there's further upside here on the equity markets. However, right now, the risk to reward is not there. That does not mean that you should short the market. On the contrary, you should absolutely not try to step in the way and short a bubble. You wait for the bubble to pop, you wait for the retrace, and then you attack it. None of that has occurred. We'll be watching. We will be watching. However, the risk to reward is not there on the upside. It's just not there right now on the upside. There are much better places to be focused on right now. Nevertheless, I'm going to keep, especially as we get into September, I'm going to keep updating you all on what's going on during our daily live streams, what's going on with the S&P, what's going on with the Nasdaq. We're going to be tracking, of course, the equity markets. Right now, I just wanted to check in with you all, for those that are focused here on the equity markets, to make sure that you have my perspective, make sure you have my clarity, my analysis, to be able to work it off your own. If you did make it this far into the video, I do appreciate it if you went ahead and smash that like button, help support me and the channel. If you're new here, go ahead and do subscribe. Join us on this journey. If you're new here, do take a moment, subscribe to the channel, add this to your quiver, add this to your analysis, add this to your tools. Look forward to working more closely with you all, and I'll talk to you soon.